Welcome back for episode 4 of the Screen Therapy Podcast. I'm Charlie Rogers. I go by SeeJayAre online. As always, I'm joined by Nick Steinberg.
Hey, yeah, good to be here with you today.
Yeah, we missed recording last week because of scheduling issues.
Yes, I mean, you just started a new job,
Yep.
so, you had to kind of a lot on your plate, so
Yeah.
It's like, all right, let's just push it back to this weekend, get something going here.
Yeah, it's a busy time of year. So we're going to record today, post this episode to Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher,
Yes.
Google Play Store.
Man, you're so good at listening to them off. I
YouTube.
just like go, yeah.
Anywhere you can find a podcast,
Yeah.
you can find the Screen Therapy Podcast. So I encourage you to head over there, subscribe, leave us a review. So you're going to see this episode or hear this episode today. And then we are going to record our Game of the Year podcast, where we're going to go through our favorite games of the year.
Yeah.
That will be posted in early January. Right after this, in a couple days, I'm headed to Florida, so I'll be on vacation.
Yeah, I think
for a little bit.
we're both pretty busy over the next 2 weeks, leading into the holidays and everything. So, I mean, I'm not going to Florida, but I am going to Blue Mountain for New Year's.
Ooh, that'll be nice.
Yeah,
Have you ever been to Blue Mountain?
Not in the winter, no.
Yeah,
it's the time you go, I guess.
Yeah, well, no, I go there in the summer too. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I went there in the fall this year.
Okay.
It was beautiful.
So Blue Mountain's a great place to go any time of the year.
Yes.
so,
Spring though.
So basically, we'll get back to our bi-weekly schedule after the new year.
Yeah.
After things kind of calm down a little bit. We've had great numbers on the first couple episodes of the podcast. So thank you so much to the people who are listening and subscribing.
You guys are awesome, and
Yeah.
thanks so much, for putting up with the haphazard scheduling right now.
Yes.
We're gonna get that ironed out.
Yeah. So you'll get your episode every 2 weeks. So, Nick, let's jump right into what we've been playing.
Can I just say first off though, are you finding that these lights are a little bright today?
Are they? Do I have them turned up a little bright?
Well,
I know.
I think you know where I'm going with that. Yeah.
So Nick and I both had Christmas parties last night.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to record a couple hours earlier, and Nick messaged me. He's like, "Can we push this back?" I was like, "Yes."
Yeah, and I didn't know that was the reason, but yeah, I guess our Christmas parties were just down the street from each other.
Yeah.
And it's safe to say we're both a little hungover.
Yeah,
today.
I definitely stayed out longer and drank more than I was anticipating.
Yeah, so. This Christmas party was great because it was only like 2 blocks away from where I live, so just got to walk home after. They're like, "Oh, we're covering the Ubers." It's like, that won't be necessary.
So my company covered our Ubers. We took the Uber from our house to the venue. That way was $20. For some reason on the way home was $40.
Oh, is it like the surge pricing or something?
I guess.
That time of night, I guess.
But
that's crazy.
That's insane. So that's actually that's like $10 above cab prices.
Uber's weird like that. Like it all depends. Like just, because it's constantly fluctuating. At least with cabs, it's kind of like a steady price usually, right? Yeah.
Like usually Uber's cheaper, but
it's good to check both.
The company's covering it. But,
Well,
there's not
I mean,
a whole
it didn't
lot I
matter,
could do
right?
about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Anyways, on to what we've been playing.
Yeah.
Nick, what have you been playing since we last met?
Well, I think it's safe to say we've both been playing one game in particular quite a bit, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So, originally, if we had stuck to our schedule, we would have been talking about this last weekend when it was, it had just come out on the Friday.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we both had like a week with it now. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
As somebody who's not a huge Smash Brothers fan, I've really been enjoying it. And shout out to Nintendo for sending me a code. I got it actually a day early, so I was able to play it a little bit early, and we did a little bit of live stream. Posted the video to YouTube, which you can check out if you want to see 2 of the worst Smash Brothers players of all time. I played it with my buddy Matt, Gamer Alley. I'm terrible at Smash Brothers, but my boys are old enough now where they can play it. So I've been finding that I'm playing this one a lot more than previous versions.
Ones. Yeah, yeah.
My son Teddy, who's 6, beat me at it, so that's how bad I am.
Oh no! Yeah, it does seem like a game that it's a little more catered to the young in terms of maybe skill level or it's like I don't know.
It's an interesting beast because it's not really a tradition. It's not a traditional fighting game at all. Somebody described it at work as kind of more akin to sumo wrestling.
I've never heard that before, but it kind of makes sense because you're pushing people out of the
Essentially,
ring,
that's
right?
what you're doing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So for me, I'm just constantly like making myself fall off the platform and trying to like get back on, and then I fail. And, like,
I know
I end up
there's
killing
times
myself.
when you just like fail at doing a basic jump or something. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Smash Brothers is one of those games or like series anyway, that I can't think of another one where I've played it for so long and am still terrible at it. Like, it seems like I just never can quite, get to where I feel like I should be in terms of skill with it, and I feel like it's a mix of it being so much on screen at once. Yep. Even if you're just doing one-on-one battles, it can be like pretty chaotic, frantic, right? Yeah. And just I find character positioning really hard in this game because it's so kind of frantic. I'm always trying to pull off a move, but like I'm facing the other way, and I'm like, oh no, I meant to go over there, and then the computer's moving around. He's like, nope, going this way, and it's like, great, I'm just never gonna line up that move. Awesome.
Yeah, which can be frustrating. I guess you just have to accept that it's just completely insane, and there's so much going on, and that's part of the skill, is trying to parse all that. And for me, I'm constantly losing track of who I am, where I am, just because there's so much on screen, like you said. But
it helps if you pick a really big character, because then you're like, all right, I'm not going to lose track of Bowser or Donkey Kong or something, helps, but then they have like the little tiny characters. It's like Isabelle, that like little dog. I'm just like, why? I would never find.
And then all these assist characters come in. You're like, oh man,
is that guy fighting now? Yeah.
Who's who?
Oh, it's wild.
But it's a lot of fun, and I mean, I think over 70 characters in there, and an insane amount of playable characters.
Speaking of the characters, do you find with this this game in particular, it can be hard to unlock some of the characters, just because? I mean, I know you're getting them a lot, but the battles themselves are way more difficult. No, okay, you thought maybe it was just you. No, it's actually a thing. Like, I kind of looked it up, and people have been talking about it. But for whatever reason, the difficulty just kind of ramps up when it's that new challenge you're approaching. Like, I always I feel like half the time, I fail that first battle, and then I have to go back to like.
Yeah, I think that's probably about my success rate as well. Yeah. And then you've got to wait, and you can go back into that other little mode and re-challenge.
You re-challenge them, yeah.
But then that's after. So I'm still trying to figure out like the parameters.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. Yeah, I just check back every now and then.
Me too.
Yeah.
And then they have that. What is it? Light.
World of Light.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like this adventure mode. It's like RPG, and then.
It's kind of cool. I didn't get a whole lot of time with that, but
I just kind of started it, and it has a really cool opening cutscene. Yeah, like I was like, wow, this is really really neat.
They put a lot into this game. Like there's a lot of content jammed in there.
Yeah, I've mostly just been playing the regular kind of just Smash, just because it feels like it's kind of the quickest way to unlock characters. Because I think it's like every 10 minutes of game time or something, you'll get a new challenger approaching. But which I kind of like the system for unlocking characters right now, just because I feel like it gives you, because not everyone is available at the start. It forces you to try out different characters, right? Yeah, I feel like the downside to another big Nintendo game, which is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, when that was released on Switch, is that everything was unlocked from the start. Yeah. And it kind of, I don't know, I like unlocking things in games,
so do
right?
I. And there's all kinds of tricks that you can go online to figure out how to work that system to be much easier if that's what you want to do. Yeah. I leave it as standard, and then it feels like something new when I unlock a new character. It's an accomplishment. I'm like, oh, cool, I got this new character. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I could, spend an afternoon and just, or a couple hours even from what I've heard to unlock them all easily.
Yeah, but I'm just kind of going,
Yeah, I like the reward. And like you said, it forces you to use other characters. So instead of just picking that, handful of 4 or 5, you're somewhat familiar with almost all of them by the time you unlock a new character.
Oh, for sure. Do you have any favorites so far of any kind of new characters?
I like Ness. New characters, I don't know, but I don't know why. I find myself playing with Ness. I love he's got that crazy baseball bat.
It really
swing.
feels like they kind of updated the damage with that one, because you can really just
love it. It makes that when you hit people with it.
Yeah. Ness is one of those characters I've always wanted to be better with. It's like a weird moveset, but in terms of new characters, I just love that King K. Rool is in this game.
Yeah, did you unlock him?
Yeah, I've unlocked him.
So now I've heard that you play some other mode with Link to unlock him, or did he unlock as part of just playing it?
No, just through regular play.
I think you can get him by this other route if you like want to get him like now kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I really want to play with him.
Yeah.
I think I played with him at the Nintendo event.
Yeah.
He was pretty fun.
Yeah, he's pretty good. And Simon Belmont. I don't know. Have you unlocked him yet? No. He's got a really cool moveset. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and it's neat, right? Because he's got like the items from the Castlevania games. He's got like the whip. He's like throwing fire down, and it's just it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So yeah, Smash Brothers has been kind of a surprise for me that I'm liking it and playing it as much. I always liked the games. I just didn't play them a whole lot.
Yeah. Just one more thing on it before we kind of move on. I feel like maybe you're in kind of the same boat with me with this series. Is that I mean, you do like it and whatever, but I feel like for me, the gameplay in it is almost secondary to just. What I love about Smash Brothers is that it's kind of the celebration of Nintendo.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's become more than that now, right? Because you have characters from all sorts of different franchises and stuff. But the level of care they kind of put into it and like doing it almost as this, almost like, museum piece in a way where it's, you're finding different, even in that World of Light mode, it's like you're unlocking stickers and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, this from this kind of like obscure game and things. I like that. I've always liked that about this series.
Absolutely. And being able to take those iconic video game characters into battle is a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, it still is, and it's it's been around for 20 years, and it's still just a captivating franchise for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I have been playing a lot, and that I really kind of wanted to touch on here. A game that I don't think a lot of people are playing, and I really feel like they should. It's called Horizon Chase Turbo.
Horizon Zero Dawn? What?
So this is a Nintendo Switch. Well, no, it's not a Switch exclusive.
Right.
This came out on the PS4, I believe, earlier in 2018, maybe even late 2017. It's essentially Outrun.
Okay.
With gorgeous, stylized visuals that are done so in a way that it runs fantastic on the Nintendo Switch. So it's just kind of like, how would I describe it? Super colorful, almost like a painting. It looks like at times. So it's like, not super detailed.
Okay.
But still absolutely gorgeous, and it's Outrun. There's a whole bunch of different really good multiplayer modes. So you can play 4-player split screen.
Nice.
Couch, not co-op, but multiplayer.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. So it's one of those games that's like easy to play, but really tough to master because it's essentially just 2 buttons. You've got your gas and then nitro. So when you're kind of when you
no
go,
brake.
Well, there is brake. But
okay, but I mean,
no one uses
the brake. Yeah, that's right.
Well, I mean, I'm sure in the later levels you might have to, but basically, the Outrun formula is you're flying into a corner and you're pushing it as fast as you can, and your car kind of drifts to the outside as you hit that corner, and then you kind of have to just take your finger off the speed and just correct, and then you've got to avoid the other cars, and there's gas cans laid out on the course, so you have to kind of be wary of your gas meter. And pick up these gas cans, or you'll run out of gas and not finish the race.
Right.
Tons of content packed into this game. I think it's around a $20 game, made by a studio in Portugal or Brazil. Man, I think it's Brazil.
Okay.
I think it's a Brazilian studio that made this, which would make them Portuguese speaking. So
right.
Close enough.
This is a great tangent.
But I highly recommend you guys go check this one out. It just came out probably a week or so ago. So I don't know if there may be a sale towards Christmas, but for $20 that it costs, tons of content in there and well worth that money.
Yeah.
And
I guess one game I've been playing, and you'll be familiar with this one, is Puyo Puyo Tetris. Another Nintendo Switch game, an early Switch title.
So did you just get it? Or
I just got it last month because I think it was part of their kind of holiday sale or something. And it was a pretty good price, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get that. I just love puzzle games on the Switch, and so I've been mostly playing kind of the Tetris mode.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you have any experience with the Puyo Puyo games?
Not a ton.
Or
I'm still trying to kind of figure it out, like what the strategy is for it.
Yeah, it's tough. Now, the game has interesting systems built in where it actually will teach you some strategy.
But yeah, mostly Tetris. And mostly I'm stuck in like a high score chase with my girlfriend.
Okay.
And I think I just have to admit that she's better than me at this.
Really?
Yeah. It took me a while to I finally beat her score, and I was like, oh, I texted her at work. It's like, yeah, beat your score, and she's like, I had one thing, come on. And then it only took her a few hours, and she already clobbered that score, and I don't think I'll be able to best it. So
yeah, it's a great. And there's really. Have you played against each other, like the multiplayer modes too?
No, actually. I mean, we're always playing kind of just in handheld, kind of passing back and forth, or if one of us is playing something else, it's like, okay.
You should try.
I do want to try the multiplayer.
Really good.
Yeah.
So I had experience with Puyo Puyo on the Genesis as Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. I think is Puyo Puyo essentially.
Oh yeah, I guess it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's definitely, I think, a harder puzzle system than Tetris.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or well, I mean, Tetris is just so
maybe it's
ingrained,
more familiar. Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But I find it hard to do setups in Puyo Puyo, to get those kind of combos going. Absolutely. I feel like I just always trigger them accidentally. Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Yeah.
In Puyo Puyo, it's more like I'm just trying to survive, rather than building, like a nice, high score.
Yeah.
I can get 4 or 5 things, but building a chain is tough in that.
Ooh, yeah, really tough.
It's interesting because at one point when that game came out, I went online and watched some videos online of people who are really good at Puyo Puyo, and it was pretty impressive.
I bet. Yeah. Anything else on your game right now?
I guess we should touch on... We didn't talk about the PlayStation Classic release.
No, we didn't.
So, shout out to Sony, who sent one by for me to check out. It's not very good.
No, I've kind of heard negative things. They really just kind of phoned it in.
Yeah, so, I mean, the games, we all know that the games are a little bit disappointing.
Yeah.
I was still excited to play a lot of those games on there.
Sure.
The system itself, I was a little bit disappointed with the build quality. The controllers are pretty faithful replicas of the original, but they're real hollow feeling and a little bit of a cheaper plastic.
Yeah.
I mean, totally fine. They're not gonna fall apart or anything like that, and they work totally fine. But I felt that the build quality was a little bit less than I was expecting. And then the emulation issues. They decided to put on some European or some PAL games, which run at 50 hertz, and Tekken runs abnormally slow, and it really feels strange.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. So I mean, the game stuff, okay, it is what it is. The game lineup, I didn't think it was terrible. I still wanted to pick one up to play it, but stuff like that doesn't really. It's not really excusable.
It should be the best version of that game.
Absolutely.
At this point,
and it's not hard to emulate PlayStation games.
Right.
People have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And I think they dropped the ball there. So
yeah,
I don't know what's going to happen with these things. I know so many people that have returned theirs. And I don't think they're going to sell well. It's also expensive. Here in Canada, $129. So almost $150.
Yeah.
So, I really wanted this thing to do well. I just don't think
But now you're I don't know if it deserves to.
Well,
it's it's hard
it all comes down to the modding scene, right?
Yeah.
So
have you been following that at all?
So where we are right now with that is teams are working on it's like a process, right? Some guy figured out that if you plug in a USB keyboard, you can access the menu to fiddle with some of the emulator settings.
Right.
And then it progresses. Okay, well, if we can get in this way, then maybe we can find a back door to add games, and then someone figures that out. They're at the point now where you can add games to a memory key, add games that you own copies of.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can add them to a memory key and plug them into the second player port, the USB port,
right,
and play them off of that. I won't do anything with mine until you can basically, remove the games that you don't want on the system and put the ones that you want.
Yeah, are you kind of waiting for something that was similar to, I guess, the NES Classic?
Exactly like that.
It was the Hack G or whatever it was called.
It's also a little bit dangerous to do right now. It's not hacked to the point where it's safe for the average person to do.
No.
You could brick your system.
Yeah.
And obviously, disclaimer, you're going to void your warranty if you do this.
Yeah.
With the Sony PlayStation. But I mean, it's interesting because how you would think that Sony knew that this was going to happen, and this is in fact going to help this thing sell.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. So I mean, you might.
I was disappointed.
In fact, you'll probably see a surge in sales once people have figured out a proper hack for it.
For sure.
So it's smart for companies like Nintendo or PlayStation to allow these things to happen.
Right.
Because it's going to sell them more consoles. People own the device. Once they, it just really comes down to where they're getting these ROMs and stuff like that.
It's such, yeah.
And Nintendo has cracked down on that previously. But yeah, I only add ROMs for games that I have.
Yeah.
Which is,
most PlayStation games, yeah.
But obviously, most people don't have those games. So.
Sure. One thing I did hear about it that is apparently there's like almost like no security on this thing at all, like in terms of like hacking. Like I was reading, an article about it, and they're saying like it's just surprising for Sony, given like that the Vita was like so hard to hack, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just kind of like, wow, they just really didn't care. Like it's just just that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now is it like negligence of just them not building it right, or are they just like, hey, listen, if
people are going to do it,
yeah,
that might be it,
Yeah,
it's different, right? Because it doesn't have like an online connection, so it's not like, as big a deal as something like a.
It's a weird topic
console.
because these at this point the system's 30 years old almost.
No, 20.
They had the 20,
near
25.
It's getting close to 25, right?
Okay.
Or 25 next year, I think.
So it's not like people are copying PS4 games. That's a whole different story, right? Like ROMs for these games have been available for decades now. So if you're taking ROMs for these old games, that's a different story, I think.
Yeah.
So it's a touchy subject.
Yeah, but overall, not really much of a recommendation.
I can't recommend it.
Yeah.
I cannot recommend it at that price.
Yeah.
I can't. It was.
Pretty I think if you're a collector, it's like okay, whatever. But I mean, for me, like I'm a huge PS1 fan, and I don't have any interest in this thing because I just think it's not a good deal.
Yeah, I mean, packaging is nice. Looks good on the shelf.
Yeah.
The boys are playing some Twisted Metal. We'll definitely use it, but no, I couldn't recommend it to the average consumer.
No.
One last thing, I've still been playing some
Red Dead?
No, have not gone back to Red Dead.
I beat it.
You did?
I finished the story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are your thoughts?
Without spoilers,
yeah,
because I don't want to spoil it for you. I love this game.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like warts and all, but man, could it have used an editor?
Yeah.
Or something. Like just the point you think the story's wrapping up, it's like 10 more hours. It's like another game, basically. Mm-hmm. And I think what they kind of do with the whole, like, epilogue thing that they kind of ends the game, kind of detracts from, like, the 50 or 60 hours that came before it. Like, in terms of, like, storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just wasn't sure, like, what they were really trying to say about the characters and stuff. But, but there's still just so much to admire about this game.
The scope.
I still haven't tried the online, though. I don't know if you have yet.
No, I haven't gone back, so.
Yeah. I'm still looking to try that at some point, but...
this is going to be like a podcast update. Have I gone back to Red Dead yet?
Yeah.
And again, no. I'll say that I'll say that I think Red Dead's a great game, and I really enjoyed it. It just hasn't got its hooks into me, and I just simply haven't gone back. I've been playing other things. So.
Yeah, I just got to a point where I was like, I need to see where this goes in terms of the story. So yeah,
will it be in contention for you for your game of the year?
I think it would be in contention, but I don't know if I could
raise it above other games.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll have to
a little bit of a because I think we've established that we're going to do like a top 5 sort of format for our games of the year. So I definitely think it's a top 5 caliber for me.
Yeah, I definitely need to put more time into it before that. I'd like to get, I can't remember how many hours I'm in, but I'd like to get to at least 15 hours before I can say that it's on my list.
I think you're allowed to not like it though.
I don't.
That's the thing,
it's
right?
not,
no, I know you're not.
I don't like it. I am a little bit. I think it was an interesting choice I think they made some interesting choices there because I think the average gamer is not gonna play this as much as they are hoping. like I think a lot of people are going to just lose interest and fall out of this game.
Sold so well, but I think it's only going to be a small percentage of people that actually finish it. And you could actually tell by looking at the trophies, right?
Yeah,
for sure. Actually, I want to go back and look at that. I'm sure I'm part of a pretty small group
who finished the game. Yeah. So there's still tons of stuff to do. I'm guessing you probably play that game for another 2 years.
That's what but I don't know if I want to do I actually 100%ed the original Red Dead.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, I feel like it's just going to be too tedious.
There's just other things.
You have to go back and play missions too and get gold ratings on them, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's just going to be annoying as hell for so many of those missions.
Like Red Dead's, if you're somebody that gets, one game every couple months and you just play it all the way through.
Yeah.
But just for, people like us who we want to play other games, right? Like I can't put that much time into
I love being in that world though. It's probably the most impressive open world.
As we're talking about it more, I'm like, can I find time this weekend to get back? And I really
there's just times I just stop in it and I'm just like, wow, look at this view. Like it's just crazy, like, taking photos and
that'll be my pledge. I definitely am gonna try and put 10 more hours into Red Dead before the next podcast. So I can kind of see if it's going to make my list. So, but yeah, other than that, I've just been playing Pokemon still with the boys. We've been having a great time. Andrew his reading has really been coming along, so I really like that he can actually, and we've been kind of, it's almost like reading a book, but as we're playing the game, Andrew's reading the text for us. And
I didn't think about that.
Really is. I think I mentioned this last time. It is the greatest first Pokemon for a kid. Because, just streamlined systems. And Nintendo, shout out to Nintendo, sent us over a Pokeball Plus controller.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay. I'll have to try this at some point. I know we don't have time today, but yeah.
Yeah, so it controls surprisingly well. For a little ball that you're holding, it's got a little thumbstick. I would rather play the game with a controller or in the portable mode, but playing with the boys, they love to, throw the little thing.
Of course, yeah.
And it works well. It's a pretty cool little device. So, anything else that you have been playing?
No, that's about it. I mean, I've gone back to Spider-Man this week because I'm so close to 100%ing it. I figured, okay, I just got to do it. The only thing I have left to do now is all the kind of random crimes, which is just kind of tedious, but I'm like, you know what? I'm so close at this point. So I'm going to get that platinum.
Where are we at with the DLC for that?
So the second one was released, and I haven't played that.
The Black Cat was the first one?
Yeah, it was called the Heist or something, and then this next one was Turf Wars, and I heard it's not as good.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll have to see. I'm waiting until the third one comes out and seeing how that one is until I decide to kind of buy the other two that I don't have. So
that's another game I'd love to get back into.
I'm definitely going to do the New Game Plus at some point. Like I want to play through that story again.
Yeah.
So
good.
It's great. Like it's one of the best Spider-Man stories I've ever kind of experienced.
Yeah.
And speaking of Spider-Man, there's that new movie out, which neither of us have seen, unfortunately. But
it just came out yesterday,
well, it just came. Yeah, that's right. But so
Spider-Man Into the Multiverse.
Is that what it's called now? Yeah, Into the Multiverse. I keep forgetting kind of the title, but
it's getting good reviews.
Holy crap! Yeah,
good.
People are saying it's the best Spider-Man movie.
Really?
That
good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there hasn't been. I shouldn't say really because it's Spider-Man movies, but.
That's fair. Half of them haven't been great, so.
But I want to take the boys to see that. But to hear that it's actually a really good movie, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know nothing about this kind of multiverse when it comes to Spider-Man, other than Miles Morales.
Yeah, I just know that Spider-Ham's in it.
Spider-Ham. See, I don't know. I saw.
I know. I don't
saw
really.
The trailer,
I'm like, cool. Yeah.
Is this a thing?
Yeah, it's an actual thing. Yeah.
But yeah, and that song I hear all the time. The theme song from the movie. It's like a Post Malone song.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've heard
it.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, that one.
All right.
I'll show it to you after. Anyways, it's a catchy song. So, I guess we should move on to some of the big announcements that happened at the Video Game Awards.
Yeah, we do need to touch on this as we missed it last weekend. But,
yeah, there's lots of stuff here. So, real quick, the Video Game Awards, in terms of announcements, it's like second to E3 now?
Yeah, it kind of is like a mini E3 almost.
I watched most of it. I somehow missed quite a few of these announcements.
Yeah, surprised, yeah.
I enjoyed it. It's always really awkward because you know you have these game developers on who aren't used to being in front of camera.
Sure.
And, plenty of awkwardness. But I really got to hand it. People give Jeff Keighley crap and whatever this category and how come this wasn't nominated. But this guy's been doing this.
He's one of the hardest working guys in
as a labor of love, right? Like he's not really he's not getting filthy rich off of the video game awards. It's something that he pours his heart into, and to be able to recognize these game developers and put faces to some of the names of people who've created these amazing games.
That's what it's about. I mean, that's
it's a fantastic thing for the industry. So I really like that this is still on, and the fact that it's broadcast, it's not on TV anymore, and it's strictly streamed. They still get some pretty impressive numbers.
Yeah,
a lot of people tune into it.
Yeah, that's good though. They kind of know their audience, right?
Yeah,
it's most people.
Remember, it used to be on Spike TV, and there's all kind of cringe moments. But I enjoy watching it, and the announcements that have been coming out of this event have been pretty substantial over the past few years.
What do you think is the most exciting?
The most exciting to me, I think the thing that I want to play the most is Ultimate Alliance, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yeah, I'm up there with you.
Yeah, coming to the Nintendo Switch. I was a huge fan of the game.
Switch exclusive.
Yeah.
Which was that was a big kind of shocker, I think.
Now were the first two were they on the Xbox 360 or was there one?
Yeah, it was that generation. Yeah, or I think the first
one split between.
Yeah, because the original came out all the way back in 2006, so this was still when there were third party publishers were releasing stuff for PS2 and Xbox.
They weren't platform exclusive, were they?
No, they were multi-platform.
I think that's just where I played it.
Yeah.
But yeah, great game. What would you call that? Like action
dungeon
adventure
crawler kind of thing.
Oh, yeah,
right? It's kind of a Diablo sort of like. I don't know if there's much in the way of loot in these ones or not. Like,
I can't.
Maybe you do kind of upgrade in terms of getting new skills and stuff like that. But I don't know too much. Well, I guess they haven't announced too much about it yet. But I mean, we know that it's kind of kind of ties into the Avengers a bit, like the.
Oh, okay. Story wise,
I don't know story.
Anything.
Yeah.
That'd be
it's
pretty
the Black
sweet.
Order, right? So it's kind of the enemies we met in Infinity War and.
So it's being developed by Team Ninja, creators of Ninja Gaiden, and you said most recently Neo, right?
Yep, Neo. They did the Dead or Alive fighting games. So I guess this. Nintendo's had a really good kind of working relationship with Team Ninja and Tecmo Koei.
Yeah, they did the games that you love.
Hyrule Warriors?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, originally, well, Team Ninja didn't do the Dynasty Warriors games, but they worked on, Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors, which I haven't played, but, very similar. So, I guess this kind of, exclusivity deal kind of evolved out of that, which,
that's a big get cool. for the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
Out sometime next year. Definitely be playing that one. I also think, for me, biggest announcement probably Crash Team Racing Remake.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not all that surprising considering.
Is it a remake?
Or
is that what they're called? I don't know.
I think that's what they're calling it. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's one of those kind of made from the ground up for new systems. But it is the kind of the original PS1 game,
and it's
classic.
A PS4 exclusive, as far as I know.
No, I think it's out on Switch and
is it really?
Xbox One. Yeah.
Oh, I heard that was exclusive.
Ooh, are you going to get it on the Switch or on PS4, though?
Oh, you know where I'm getting it.
Switch?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll get anything I can on the Switch first.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a third or like a major, like something like Red Dead. I take that back. If I could play Red Dead on my Switch, even if it was a graphical downgrade, you know what? I would probably almost buy anything on the Switch except for sports games.
Right. It's I don't know. It's tough for me. Like I'm kind of in that dilemma with the Spyro trilogy, in that I don't know if I want it for PS4 or Switch. Because
the Spyro trilogy's not on the Switch,
isn't it? Is it not?
No.
Oh well, then never mind. I guess I thought it was out on the Switch.
I'm like, no, I don't think so.
So it came out on PS4 and Xbox One?
I'm almost positive it's not on the Switch.
All right, we're gonna.
Because I would much rather have it on the Switch.
Okay.
Any game that I can play portably on there, I would rather have a portable version of it, even if it is at a slight graphical downgrade. But I'm almost positive Spyro's not on the Switch.
Well,
We talked about Spyro
guess
last
that makes
time,
my
right?
decision
And my
much
love
easier.
for
Yes.
That Reignited trilogy
Yeah.
is amazing.
Well, it's on my Christmas list, so we'll see.
So, have you been a good boy this year?
Yeah.
So
enough for that, I guess.
Another thing that stood out for me was the Far Cry 5 sequel, kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of what's it? New Dawn, right? That's Far Cry New Dawn. That's what it's called.
Yes.
Yeah.
Post-apocalyptic.
Yeah. Okay. So I heard that at first before
Yeah.
I watched the trailer, and I was like, oh, not another damn post-apocalyptic game. Like I just can't. Well, I don't know. It's just been a bit much lately, but I do like that they're kind of going in more of a like sort of Horizon Zero Dawn direction, where it's like, oh, but it's beautiful. Like
Yeah.
it's that kind of
Colorful. It's
Yeah.
almost like nature's kind of taken over
Yeah.
with the whatever that plant was that the girl. Remember, she had like the drugs.
Oh,
the
yeah.
poppies kind of.
I never actually finished Far Cry 5, so I guess this was
didn't
a bit of
either.
a spoiler for
I
the end
didn't
of that
either,
game.
and
Yeah.
it spoils it
Yeah.
totally. They're like, they totally spoiled the end
Yeah.
of Far Cry 5, which kind of sucked because I plan on going back.
Yeah.
But basically, I won't spoil it for people listening, but
Sure.
yeah. So $40 coming out February 15th on PS4, Xbox One.
Yeah.
I like the price point. Kind of like remember they did Far Cry Blood Dragon, where
Right,
it's kind of a sequel, but kind of different.
Yeah, I'm just a little like Far Cried out right now, I feel like.
I think,
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think this is something that I'll pick up in a few years when it's on sale.
It depends. If I get back into Far Cry 5, which, yeah, like you, I kind of plan to do, because I did
Mhm.
really like it. I
Yeah.
had some problems with the way the storytelling was done. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't like that the protagonist was silent, but
Mhm.
yeah, I'd like to get back to it. And if I do, then yeah, I'll probably check this one out. But yeah, February, I mean, that's a good early release in the year. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time for something like that.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So another one that I kind of wanted to touch on real quick was the latest game from Hello Games, the creators of No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
The last
The infamous
Campfire.
creators of No Man's Sky.
Yeah, so let's touch on that real quick.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you think that Hello Games have repaired the damage done to the reputation over the last year or two with what they've kind of released post or what they've done post release on No Man's Sky?
I don't know. I'm kind of of two minds with this. I think that there's always going to be that segment of people that will always feel like they got ripped off and that sort of thing. Maybe just aren't very forgiving. But I think they have done a good job of kind of repairing their reputation and just by how much work they've put in. Like they've really just shown that they've been listening.
Yeah.
Like I think their initial reaction was kind of terrible. Like
Absolutely.
they just went radio silent.
Yep.
And which for a month after it was released, and that's when all the biggest problems were there.
Yeah.
But in the time since, I think they've done a great job. I actually went back to No Man's Sky over the summer when they released whatever, I forget what the update was called, but it was pretty big. It was pretty substantial, and man, they've made some really good improvements to that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, the issue I had with it was, okay, so they overpromised all these things.
Yeah.
I always feel like if you just own it and apologize for it, people are forgiving.
It goes a long way.
Yeah. So if you were to come out and said, listen, we were a little bit ambitious. We're a smaller team. We kind of bit off more than we could chew, and I overpromised, and and I'm sorry.
And
we're
it's
doing
hey,
our
stay
best.
tuned.
We're hard at work to make this right, and then that would have probably been the end of it, considering they've done so much work on that game.
Yeah.
So anyways, The Last Campfire, kind of like a really nice, stylized action adventure game. Kind of looks like
Yeah,
pretty
it looks
slow
like this kind of
moving, story heavy
exploration.
Yeah.
Looks like there's some puzzle elements to it. Kind of like art style and the character design, which
Mhm.
actually kind of reminds me of miniature cartoony versions of the characters from Journey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that similar art style it seems like too.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think this is the right route for Hello Games. It's just kind of going almost in the opposite direction from No Man's Sky. They're just huge behemoth of a game, just something a little smaller, more of like an indie, very much something you would expect from an indie developer. But I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely something I'll check out, and I think they'll do a better job of not having a whole bunch of problems at launch.
I want to see them do well.
Me too.
And recover from this.
Yeah.
I think that they've put a lot of work into No Man's Sky, and yeah, I'd like to see that kind of companies make mistakes, and I don't like holding grudges, but for me, like I said, it's just all about transparency and admitting your faults and mistakes, and people will forgive you.
Yeah.
So one other announcement that I wanted to mention, I know you probably have one more too. Mortal Kombat 11 was announced. Mortal Kombat hadn't really even been on my radar. Like, this kind of came as a shock to me, and I was like, oh yeah, Mortal Kombat, this is awesome. So same team that's been doing the Injustice games.
Yep.
Mortal Kombat X came out probably 5 years ago.
Is it that long now?
I think so, because there's been Mortal Kombat X, and then I think there was Injustice and Injustice 2. Is that the way, or was it Injustice, Mortal Kombat?
Maybe.
Either way,
yeah.
It's been pretty close to 5 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Injustice games, Injustice 2, I was a huge fan of.
Yeah, I never actually got a chance to play it. But yeah, I heard it. I like this direction that, well, especially that developer. I think, is it NetherRealm? Is that who does it?
Yeah, Ed Boon's still involved.
Yeah. They've really been kind of, at least keeping kind of like new fighting games alive in a way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it retains like that old feeling still of like the 2D fighters.
Yeah.
But they've brought it into a 3D world.
Yeah, and they've kind of like evolved with the times, and especially Injustice 2 with a lot of its story content. Like, people really like the Injustice storyline of like the arc. Like, they have tie-in comics and everything. And yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, so the storytelling in a fighting game is something that they seem to have kind of mastered.
Yeah. Well, it's always, like, stories in fighting games used to be a joke.
Yeah.
Like, God, do you remember the Soul Calibur games? It's just his soul, he must go and
the Soul Edge. That announcer guy that plays, I love that.
Yeah. But great games. I mean, it's always, obviously, it's about the gameplay first. But, I mean, they have good fight systems, too, so I can't.
Yeah, so do we have a release date on that? I didn't see
it either.
Let me see quickly here. Yes, we do. Oh no, proper reveal on January 17th. So we do not. Oh wait, no, here we do. The game is launching on April 23rd, so not that far out.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, and that'll be on Xbox One and PS4, and most likely PC.
Oh man, not on Switch.
I don't think it's coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if the Switch could run that. I don't know, but it'd be nice if it was on the Switch, like everything else.
Yep.
One other thing that I would like on the Switch. So they announced that this character from Persona 5 is going to be part of the roster for Smash Brothers. And now there's been all kinds of rumors that Persona 5 may come to the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
And that is actually kind of it's probably a top 5 most wanted game for me on the Nintendo Switch. I played it on the PS4, and I put, again...
It's kind of your pile of shame.
Yep.
Again,
I put about 10 hours in and just kind of never went back to it. But, man, I would love to see that on Nintendo Switch. So, really hoping that happens. And then there was one final game that we wanted to touch on. Which one was it again?
So, Obsidian's next game. Yeah.
So, Obsidian announced...
Outer Worlds, right?
Outer Worlds, that's what it is.
So, yeah, it seems to be... They're really... Or at least in terms of the announcement, they really kind of leveraged their Fallout connections. And I think this was a really good idea, and also kind of like a slap in the face to Bethesda.
Yeah.
And they're, they've been having just a host of troubles with Fallout 76. Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
But, it's like almost coming out in Obsidian being like, hey, remember when Fallout games were good? When we were making them? We made the originals. We made New Vegas, which everyone loves. And now we're making... Outer Worlds, which, is kind of another... It's sort of post-apocalyptic, almost sci-fi?
Yeah.
In a way, like it's... Yeah.
Fallout in space. Looks
yeah.
like a little... It kind of reminded me a little bit of Borderlands.
Yeah, it does have that kind of feel to it. And Rage, too.
Yes.
A little bit. Yeah.
So, Obsidian also did Knights of the Old Republic 2, which I was a big fan of.
Yeah.
So they've got some pedigree there, and I'd love to see... what they come up with for kind of a space version of Fallout.
Yeah.
That's kind of an easy way of
I definitely want to check this one out. I don't have that kind of connection to Obsidian that a lot of people do. Like, I really just haven't played very many of their games.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they get a lot of respect just for kind of their storytelling talents. So I think this game will be, like, a hit in that regard.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Other announcements from the show. New Supergiant Games title called Hades. Very similar to Transistor, and the first one was
Bastion. Yeah. I love these guys, and but I've never finished one of their games.
Ooh, and Pyre.
I feel Pyre. Oh,
what a great game that was.
I know. 3 games right there: Bastion, Pyre, and Transistor that are like all on my pile of shame because I've put in like a few hours into each of them and just never finished.
Yeah.
I think Bastion I came close to finishing.
Those just came out on the Switch, Bastion and Transistor.
Yeah, great games for that.
Pyre.
console.
I hope Pyre comes to the Switch.
Oh wow, is it not out yet? We just got to be at some point.
We should just call this it should be on the Switch.
It comes up like every time. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like I think for both of us, we play our Switches a lot. Like
it's interesting that a girl at work just got a Switch yesterday. And I said to her, how'd
you wait?
I don't know, but she just picked one up, and I was like, I'm so excited for you to like experience the Switch. Like I just go back to experiencing the Switch for the first time, and it was a different time back then. There was only 1 or 2 things to play.
Yeah.
But you and I have professed our love for the Switch.
Yeah. Do you think this was a disappointing year for the Switch in a way? Like, do you think they kind of had a sophomore slump a little bit?
Yeah, well, I was trying to think of like what's my favorite Nintendo Switch like first party game of the year, and they definitely had some big releases, but there doesn't feel like there was that one release that kind of
stood out. I think we touched on this last year though, kind of at our end of the year discussions that like how the heck are they going to follow a new Zelda and a new Mario game, but also I mean, in both of those games, kind of like are all timers.
Yes.
Right? So
following that up is nearly impossible. I think they had a great year.
Yeah,
I just think
so.
Living up to that past year's.
Yeah, tough. I think kind of the indie kind of development scene kind of really held the Switch together this year.
Yeah, it's becoming
a lot of cool releases.
Yeah, a go-to system for indie developers.
Hollow Knight, great one. I think that's going to end up on a lot of. Although it's not actually a 2018 game.
Yeah, because it was
out on PC. People forget last year, but I mean,
really we'll talk more about 2019 and the year that was 2018 for the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox One and PS4. I think in our game of year, what we'll do is
we should touch on each of the systems, how they did. I like that idea.
So that is going to be it for this week's episode. As I said, stay tuned for the next episode where we'll discuss our game of the year talk.
Yeah. Thanks for putting up with our hungover butts today.
It was
a bit of a struggle, but we did it.
So as I said, you can find the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, the Google Play Store, and Spotify. Do us a big favor, subscribe, leave us a review if you enjoy the podcast.
Yes.
You can follow me anywhere online at SeeJayAre. And where can we follow you?
You can follow me Twitter, Instagram, Nick_Steinberg. Wow. And I promise no more stupid cat photos.
Nick is notorious for cat photos. What did I say? I said on one of your pictures, I was like...
You're like, this is not what I meant when I said you need to post more content. And I'm like, I don't know. Who am I anymore? I don't even know.
Oh, that was funny.
Oh, embarrassing. Oh.
I'm not a cat person at all.
I'm still a dog person at heart, but I have 3 cats in my life now. Like I live with 1, my girlfriend has 2. It's just like, so I've just kind of had to love them. And you find the right cat, they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
But just dogs are still better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. We can agree on that.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys, for listening. And if you're watching the YouTube version of this, do us a favor and check out the links in the description below.
And also, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and make some awesome gaming memories.